to us.
It's new to us, right?
It's new to us, right?
And I've had a discussion of it. We meet with the police chiefs 4 times a year, and so that's coming up in the beginning of March. And we moved it to the end of March, so the new Percy chief will be in place. And so the end of March, to be able to meet with the whole team. And I put this policy on, I kind of talked through with them in terms of the training they already have. Had a conversation with Mr. Gallo about the training that he's looking for to provide our security guards. Remember we talked about when we brought the SVOs in, to have them provide some training for the rest of the security force on these types of issues with students and interactions and diffusing situations, restorative practices. And so we're going to offer those to the police if they don't already have them. I want to get a section that the police already do, with their training, and we've got to offer them next year to be part of ours. So,
Excellent.
Do we need to determine who's gonna give the training within these policies? Who's gonna actually train the police?
so we've asked Mr. Gallo to put together a proposal in terms of the
Okay,
trainings that he would recommend. And so a lot of them are offered through the national SPO and SRO organizations.
Okay.
That they have school-specific trainings for their SROs, which now become the SPOs as well. And so that would be our first initial piece, but I don't know what his presentation is. I know he's also met with a gentleman from the tech school who is a certified trainer in some areas to see what he could offer. Because, you know, it's local and it would be relatively expensive. And we already have a relationship with them in terms of the tech school. So he's making that recommendation for me, not only for he and Mr. Branch, but also for the rest of the security guards. And then be able to offer that to the police to say, so.
Thank you.
Sure.
Other questions? Sounds like we are. Okay. With that, we've reached the end of the agenda. Next facilities committee meeting is scheduled for March 9. I will not be here. So, no, it is. So how do we see?
What's next, Mr. Bauer?
What do we do next?
This point, it doesn't matter to me.
Let's shake up the whole agenda.
Finances.
Right answer is.
I guess wait till the end.
Gotta finish on top, right?
All right, great.
All right, then I'll call the finance committee meeting to order. And we don't have any public for comment. So first up is the review of contract approval, Mr. Alfred.
Okay, contracts for approval this month. Starting with letter A, Rubicon West, Atlas license. This is a curriculum design program, cost of $75,680. And it is a curriculum management system. It is new to the district. It will house our curriculum and make it available to the teachers. And if we have more questions than that, there's guys in this room that are a lot smarter than I am about it.
If
This
you
is
remember,
the
this
Atlas,
connects to
right?
Atlas
Yeah.
presentation, as your curriculum last week, that Mr. Roberta mentioned.
Right.
If you remember the 3-year rehaul, or rewrite all our curriculum, this is then part of this storage of where the teachers will access the information and the resources. This allows them to store those pieces.
So, do you want, Jeff and Marcia to discuss some of those things, or do you have, this part? So, I'm looking at, we have a capability, obviously, of storing these things and being able to access them ourselves.
about 3 hours ago, so I wasn't sure you knew. And I know with February 13th and 18th being kind of the two big professional development days, that it would have to be after that, before the 24th.
Right.
Is there anything that you wanted to, because you were part of the Atlas training in the introduction
Right.
to that piece, anything you wanted to add in terms of the 30,000 foot view specific to what you see as the pros of bringing?
Sure, it's just difficult to put into a 2-minute blurb. And that's why, I'd like the opportunity to be able to sit down, whoever wants to look at this, and really understand the capabilities of it. And I understand the whole piece about housing documentation and, those type of things. But what gets away from us when we do it through general, like Microsoft Word or Google Doc, is it really doesn't become a living, breathing document. It's kind of contained, and here's this document that's completed, and now for 15 years, here's the same document. Whereas I really believe the management system component of Atlas is going to really allow everyone to be able to put their hands on it, look at those analyticals. So the analyticals are a little different than what Linkit would provide. Linkit's providing us the warehouse of assessment results as compared to, where are the essential questions coming from? How have the essential questions been effective for those big ideas? So it actually pulls from a lot more sources that's within our template, our curriculum template, to better understand, are we really putting forth the most efficient curriculum we possibly can? Right, with the, but true, with the standards alignments, with the common assessments and everything else. So we're looking just at more results of those assessments and the overall, is the actual curriculum being utilized by everybody who has their hand in it most effectively and delivering it the way it's intended to be.
So does that make Lincoln obsolete to us?
Pardon?
Does that then make Lincoln obsolete to us?
No, because Linkit,
All of this-
not really, because Linkit is the data warehouse for student assessment results. So it it's a different, it's hard to explain, but it's separate, it's different than the analyticals that you're getting from an Atlas or Rubicon. The assessment results and of what you're receiving within Linkit is more of looking at the history of how students are progressing. So it's not just, it's the common assessments where the data, the results are being put in, and understanding that component of it. But in regards to the analyticals that are coming from Atlas and through Rubicon is basically, okay, the common assessments that are being used, how do they align with the standards and the questions that we're asking, and align with, again, this big ideas and the essential questions. So like I said, it's kind of hard to do in a 2-minute overspan where if you have to sit down with it and look at the bigger picture of it.
Because Lincoln breaks it down by standard, by subject, you can break it down that specifically in Lincoln too, so. But
Of student results as compared to curriculum writing. It's just a different, like I said, it's just a different analytical approach
Search algorithm.
it's a different algorithm that's being applied
That's exactly what it
to
is.
understand
Search for
your
what they do.
curriculum versus the outcomes that you're receiving. So,
I think it'd be helpful to see, as you said, the differences
Sure.
and what it works, how it works.
And I asked Ms. Kirsch to give you, we can do a sandbox to show you the teacher view, how the teacher can benefit from it.
So I think you also had a question regarding warehousing the data versus it being out in the cloud. Did I hear you right or wrong?
Yes.
So from my perspective, and I'll give you my 2 cents and I'm deferring to my technology committee chair here, you really don't want to be in the server business.
Nope.
Okay, it is a bad business at the end and it's much better served letting somebody else handle the data.
No, it's still, I guess, I wasn't suggesting put it on a server, I was saying that we can still house it in the cloud ourselves without buying a program like that to do it.
We're not contracted with any independent cloud service that I'm aware of right now.
No.
So you can't.
But we've put things on, I don't know, was it SharePoint that you could put things on, that everyone can access all of the information from it, but, there's even.
We're going too far in the weeds. I'm just thinking too far in the weeds. I think the technology side is, they're 2 different technologies, so I think you gotta keep them at that point where what they do is, they do best what each
Right.
application does, the way they serve that.
And basically, what, within Atlas, what you end up with is a formatted approach that you can look at scope and sequence, you can look at, you know, how, when and how the habits of mind are being implemented, and it's pulling from those links and everything that's tying it all together where, and just warehousing it, like you're saying, and I completely understand what you're saying because I had experience with that as well. The problem is that document just kind of sits there and nothing's ever done with it. And then you get into the rut of losing time to really keep your curriculum active and in a decent order.
Well, like in Google Docs, you can go in and still edit and change things.
You can, but you won't get the analytics, you won't get the
No, right.
pieces of looking at scope and sequence, way it's set up. They're putting in the template that will not be, like in a Google Doc, anyone can go in and start messing with the template and playing with your formulas and everything else. In this, it's more of a locked template of the essentials that you want to work with to understand where things fall. And so, for example, I want to say the health and PE one, just because we were talking about this one. That scope and sequence, it's a nice view because then not only just a certain grade level, but that vertical view, you can see where there's an overlap of scope and sequences that are occurring in 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, are all teaching the same thing. And we don't even know it because those are, what you're saying, those documents are living individually in a place where this kind of gives the, it's not just that horizontal view, but that vertical view as well. So you really get a better idea and understanding how effective, and then go back to that word, I don't mean to keep repeating it, but how effective your curriculum is really written and meeting the needs of our students.
Is that interactive presentation you guys gave last week still available for us to?
I believe it's in, I'll get double check, but I believe it's in the administrative notes.
Okay. But that had a really great example of how they can, of these functionalities that you're
Right,
referring to.
functionalities of it, right.
Yeah, so, and I appreciate what you're saying very much. But I don't think that we can, I don't think you can do what that program does, you know.
And I understand, and I
What
think,
we
and this is my own personal feeling in this sense too, I think all that's been invested into the process of learning about writing curriculum and understanding those habits of mind. So I feel like if we get into the situation where we just warehouse it somewhere, it's gonna become
Right.
null and void within 2 to 3
Yeah,
years, because
right.
everyone's gonna forget about it. Where this is so interactive, the face and the,
And collaborative.
and collaborative, that
Hugely
it's going to keep it living and moving and a process, whereas the other piece is, what happened is we kind of lost track of it in some way.
And what you'll see is part of it allows the teachers to then pull from that to create their own lesson plans. So they can take the curriculum documents that are there and say, okay, here's what I want my week to look like. And pull over, here's what I'm gonna use on Tuesday, here's, oh, wait, I have to back this up because there was a fire drill. And then you back it, right? In terms of that piece, that there is a teacher interaction for them to lesson plan based on our documents. And that consistency of curriculum is one of the areas that we continue to work on here. And I think this allows us to do that.
And so they can actually put their lesson plans at the.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we'll start with building the curriculum through the units, and then eventually they'll get into the individual lessons. And that's where it's gonna be nice, because people can go in and say, oh, they use this to support this part of the lesson or this part of the unit. And now they have a collaborative approach as compared to, again, it's on a document somewhere, but not interactive.
Now, if we say when this contract is up, there's a, you know, there's a better option out there at that point. Do we own this information? Do they own it? How does that work? Do we lose all of this because we switch companies?
No, we own what we have in there. We paid for the creation of the template being built for us specifically in regards to how we want it developed. And then we own all the content that's within there still. And that remains with us. But Maggie, we will, and anyone else who's interested in seeing it, I mean, it is impressive. I mean, it really helps to.
You opened it up, right? Did we see it?
Yes.
Yes, when, during that
Yeah,
meeting last.
really neat. The
Was that last week, right?
Sorry. It was really impressive.
Next contract on the agenda is environmental control systems. This is a contract for professional engineering, environmental management consulting, and asbestos control services through June of 2023. This is a renewal contract. We've been working with this company since June of 2012. And this company handles, I'm gonna let Kelly go ahead and talk about what all this company does.
So they're basically our environmental consultant. Anytime, the primary role is handling our asbestos, our air report that we have to do every 3 years to comply with the EPA standards. And this also entitles us to premier service for them. So if we pick up the phone, we have a mold issue, they'll be on site that day. So it's a quick connection to get them in here to address those concerns before they get out of control. Last year they handled the lead water testing for us as well. So anything environmental, even some fuel spill, all those sort of things, they navigate us through all of the intricacies of what we need to do to be in compliance. So what this is, so it was a 3-year term previously, and I did look at cost of other companies to make sure we're getting the right bang for the buck. I looked at Element Environmental, these are hourly rates basically. This is time and material service they provide. So if they have to come out, it's all based on their hourly rate. So I looked at the professional engineer, that's the person that typically comes out. Their number is $120 an hour. Other companies, Element Environmental, they're actually the same price. Their competitor, Council Rock, uses them. I looked at One Source Safety that we used prior to this contract in 2012. They were $150 an hour. So one of the advantages of having someone that knows our things, they know our buildings, they know our documents, they have to spend less time researching and finding things out, so they kind of have a competitive advantage. But I did look at those other prices to say, is there someone that's a better price, more value for our dollar? There's someone that's close, but I think if we went with someone else, they're gonna have to invest more time to get up to speed as opposed compared to the other. They can do a good job for us. Something I thought about as well, so that could vary. So last year, we did asbestos abatement at Duke. So those costs are gonna vary depending on project. A good thing, so depending on scope of project.
Thanks, Kelly.
It's a hard task. It's a hard task. It's hard.
That's okay, I'm just kind of looking at, what was the average every phase for you?
That's why I looked at those hourly rates. That was the biggest comparison in my mind. So
Yeah.
what's it charge compared to somebody else?
The 3 years is that generally how you contract them? It's not
Typical
too-
term.
Okay.
Right, and because the HERE report is an every 3-year cycle, and now we're due for it again, and that's typically where you would start the process.
Oh, I see.
And are we at the same, they didn't change the rates,
I
right?
don't believe so. I didn't look at the historical numbers. I just did a comparison to say, what's this proposal
Right.
compared to other people's rates today?
All right.
Okay, next contract is Brightstar Medical Staffing. This is another option for us to bring in nursing subs. This is like the contract we have with AI. When we need nursing subs, we try to find them wherever we can get them. They're very difficult to get. But anyways, this contract is for $65 an hour. And
I think that's the same as Bayada, it's the same rate, right?
Is
Yes.
it, do we know?
It is.
Okay.
It's just,
Now, does Bayada charge the same rate for LPNs as they do for RNs?
That's a good question.
Because it's still, I don't know if it's
Oh, Bright Star, they
Yep.
can send either one for this.
Bill reads.
Yeah, this contract is $65 an hour
For registered nurses.
for RN or LPNs. Right after registered nurses lists out the
Oh, that's in
license.
the contract, that's a
Not
good
in the-
catch. Is Bayonne, do we know, does Bayonne have that same clause? Would be good to know, I mean,
I don't see where that is in exhibit A. That's what I'm looking.
Under.
This is it's 1.2.
Said all Bright Star personnel.
1.2.
1.2.
Oh, there it is.
Personnel records, you do a search on LPN.
oh, very smart, very technical.
And it says it above there, in the paragraph above, registered nurse, licensed practical nurse.
Can you say that again?
In the paragraph above, it says in parentheses, registered nurse, comma, licensed practical nurse, and then underneath, that's under 1.1, and then 1.2, it says RN/LPN, we're providing on-site services. I just don't think that we should be paying the same price.
I would agree.
I agree. Absolutely.
For either one, the one's very different than the other.
And it's been a while, I don't know if I don't remember if Bayada gave both options or if they only send RN. So, I mean, for consistency, I don't know, but either way, I think they should either split out the rates or not be able to send us an LPN.
Can we
Well,
look?
the only time we would take an LPN is if we were absolute last resort, and we had to have someone. So Sherry's message to me was today, that she expects and wants RNs, at all times, but if we absolutely have no other choice and we have to have a nurse, that's the only time she would accept an LPN.
But then they shouldn't be charging us the same
Right.
rate if they can't get us someone with the same certification.
I hear what you're saying, but it's also a little bit of supply and demand.
But that's like, you have to pay the same amount to see the doctor or you see the PA. You pay the same amount.
I don't.
You don't?
Yeah, I'm charged differently. I'm charged differently
I see.
depending on who it is. It's
Not
different
the same
rate.
I
thing
pay a
if I see
different
the doc or the.
PA.
Well, copay is different,
nurse
so that's for your
practitioner
insurance company,
and the
but your
doctor.
insurance is being charged a different rate, whether the doctor is seeing you or the nurse practitioner is seeing you.
We went down to the
So,
side street.
as much as I agree, I think as much as we understand that, we have to take an LPN, obviously. I think it would be good to know if we could go back in the documents with Bayada, just to find out if we're being charged a different rate. You know, just some homework, sorry. I don't like to give homework.
But maybe we can go back to them and ask them for a different, they'll break it apart.
I like that idea.
Okay.
We'll let that go.
The next contract D, is, for a change in the, rebate, rate for our current, prescription drug program, for a 3-year period. This was brought to us by our, third-party administrator for healthcare. And I shared with you some documents that show the savings for the change in the rebates. And it is within our period, it falls within our current agreement with our teaching staff, our professionals, for which this contract covers. So it's not like it's expanding past the current contract. And again, the only change is an increase in the rebate amounts that the district receives back. Everything else remains the same. The next contract is Montgomery County IU. This is for Title I Equitable Share Services. So this has to do with the IU providing Title I services to students that are in Montgomery County that belong to Penn Ridge but are in Montgomery County at private or programs required to provide those services, so we actually have the IUs do that, so that we don't have to send our staff out, away from our kids here in the district to provide this service. And we have the same type of an agreement with BCIU, for those kids that are vendors, kids that are in private or parochial schools in public. Okay. The next one, next contract is for Blackboard. I'm just gonna kind of put this one aside, if it's okay with you, because Diane and Callie are gonna talk about this in that meeting, and it kind of be putting the cart before the horse. So we're gonna do this. The next one is PA ETEP. This is a teacher evaluation software. This is new to the district, but it's a replacement of the current teacher evaluation software. And the cost is $30,524
Did you say, Dr. Barshak was gonna speak to that?
He can.
So what you're seeing, it's a 2-year agreement actually, because, so next year there would be no cost. The piece about it was if you went with the 2-year agreement, then you were given an additional 5% discount. So what led us to switching over and looking over at PAETEP was the current system that's being used, which I won't go into names or anything, but it's not really an effective evaluation tool. It's missing a lot of components. It's not very interactive among teacher administrator. What we're trying to do is we're trying to better the teaching of our teachers. These allow for better instruction. So this will actually allow for more conversations to occur. It'll give more of a chronological order to the completion of the evaluation itself, as well as really mainstream everything, all the documents that are kind of all over right now into one place. Right now, the current system does not allow for a student learning objective, a SLO, to be placed into it, so that's kind of just out there, and then you have to sort of calculate that into the document itself afterwards. And then the other piece is it's not like you have to complete, the teacher has to complete part A, so the administrator can move on to part B of the evaluation or the observation process. It's more or less just the administrator going in and using that tool to complete the observation. And there's not a lot of feedback that goes with it. So really it's just more comprehensive. As I said, you need a management system for the new teacher evaluation, since it's a process now that really is engaging between the two individuals. So this allows for us to kind of keep a clear image of the observation and management evaluation process that it goes through.
You said this is just for new teachers, or this is for all teachers?
All teachers.
And so the other one didn't allow you to put in information and then the teacher to respond and you
Correct.
go back and go back and forth?
It allowed a lot of missing pieces to occur. So someone could or could not complete this piece for the administrator to do the next part. This new system makes it more effective that you have to have the pre-observation and the form complete for the next piece to occur. So we found that as we were going through observations and evaluations, there were some pieces that were hanging out there because there was nothing reminding them that it needed to be completed. They thought they were just done with the process. So this